I'm Jerry Fletcher. Take your business up a notch with these consultant marketing tips that have been proven over the last 25 years.
Whoa! You are my kind of people. All of you are entrepreneurs or want to be. Each of you is looking for a better way to make things happen. Some of you are here because of, what are they calling it these days? Job displacement. Others are simply looking for a formula, a way to get things done. Each of you, from what you tell me, want to change the world. All of you believe that people do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. I remember almost like it was yesterday. I'd done a keynote for Michael, and we were celebrating at a little Chinese restaurant down in John's Landing. Now, when the meal finished, they came and brought us the fortune cookies, right? And interestingly enough, I opened my fortune cookie and read it, and it said, "The wise man knows everything. The shrewd one, every one." Michael pushed his glasses down his nose, looked across them at me and said, "That's good as far as it goes." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "What you know is important. Who you know matters. But the single most important thing to build a business, a career, or a life of joy is who trusts you." I've never forgotten what he said. Trust is the shortcut to brand. How they remember you, what they will call you, how they will refer people to you. Trust makes that shortcut to brand. Michael taught me about that. As I said, I've never forgotten. And I'd like to pass along to you today a little bit of what I've learned over the years about that simple fact. The single most important thing is who trusts you.
If you want to talk about brand, your brand, you've got maybe 3 seconds. If you don't communicate it in that time, it's over. What most people don't really understand about brand is that you can't control it, but you can influence it. And that point in time where you can influence it more than any other time is right when you meet someone for the first time. Because in today's world, what you really need is a way for people to remember you. The hook, the first piece of 30-second marketing, is actually the way you brand yourself. The thing is, people do not want to hear a commercial. They want to have a conversation. A lot of people are first afraid to toot their own horn. They have difficulty introducing themselves. And the reason is they think that if they say something that's memorable, it will bother the person that they're talking to. But this is one of those things that's the complete reverse of the way you think about it. If you want to be remembered, you have to say something that's memorable.
This is one of my favorite stories, and even though I'm asked to tell it on 3 continents, I still like telling it. So here goes. I was in Chicago. I was consulting with a company there, and the board meeting went on, and at that board meeting, the president of the company said to all of us gathered there, "Hey, I've made a decision." Now, at this point, all of us kind of went, "Oh my God, now what?" He said, "My decision is I'm going to let everybody in the company pick their own title and put it on their business card." Now, those of us in marketing have a concern about that sort of thing, and I sort of vented a little bit, but he said, "No, I'm going to do it." So, okay, fine. So about half an hour later, we go downstairs. We are in the company cafeteria. He walks up on the platform there, knocks on the mic, "Is this working?" He says, "I've got an announcement for everybody." "What's that?" Well, I'm going to let all of you pick your own title and put it on your business card. Now, Margie, who was sitting right down here, Margie said, I know. She was bouncing up and down on her chair. He looked at her and he said, what do you know? She said, I know. He said, Margie, what do you know? She said, I know what I want my title to be. He said, okay, what's that? And she said, I want to be Galactic Commander. You could see the lump rising in his throat as he said, okay. Now, the point to this story is that Margie had the moxie to pull it off. She worked in customer service. She couldn't sell anything unless a customer asked for it. Within 3 months, Margie's sales were up like this. Within another 3 months, they were up again and again. But that's not what's important. Margie made herself so memorable with that title that there were people calling the company who had never bought anything from them before, were not in any customer records, and suddenly we're calling the company saying, I'd like to speak to the Galactic Commander. Within a year, there were 3 Galactic Commanders. Memorability is an increasingly major piece of your reputation. You have to have it in order to get to trust. There's a study that was done by an outfit in London, England. The company is called Edelman. They do a trust barometer. They've been doing it since 2000. As of about 2004, 23% of the people they interviewed said that they would trust people who were just like me. I don't mean me. I mean those that were in the survey. So people trusted folks that were just like them. Now, that doesn't sound like it's a big thing until you get to 2016, when that percentage had increased to 82%. People trust people like themselves more than they trust businesses, institutions, NGOs, in other words, nonprofits, and anybody else. People like me get higher ratings than almost anybody except someone that has a university degree of very high order, and a couple other folks that are in the law profession. Even though they don't like lawyers, they do respect them.
Yes, I do virtual meetings. I do them a little differently these days. I start with a video of the key elements of the keynote that you selected. Now, of course, it's customized for your meeting. The length is cut so your attendees can watch it at their leisure. Some of the signature stories and the exercises are reserved for the virtual experiential meeting. I'll make use of the chat box and the response capability and even the breakout rooms to make this less of a boring webinar and more of an event that they'll remember. I'll move back and forth between the live on camera and the use of slides to convey useful information.
Now, what I recognize in many entrepreneurs is that they have a challenge in actually sharing what it is that they do. So I brought in Jerry Fletcher. Jerry Fletcher and I are working together this entire year on the Progression Conference Tour. And I brought in Jerry Fletcher to be able to share the different strategies on how to capture someone's attention and get them to do business with you in less than 30 seconds. Let's give it up for Jerry Fletcher. In your mind, because now it's time. Right on, making it work. Jerry, take it over, brother.
Over there on the other side, when you've gone past memorable and unforgettable and indispensable and you're headed for legendary, that's where that whole idea of making money 24/7, even while you sleep, exists. You need to move from nobody to somebody. Getting to unforgettable and indispensable may take a little while, but don't worry. I'll show you how to get there.